The best CPU for streaming is a vital component for anyone wanting to make the most out of their online content creation. Whether you've got your sights set on starting out with Twitch and YouTube gaming or want to up your current production values, a high-performance processor can make all the difference. With new models launching recently, there are more choices than ever as far as the best CPU for streaming goes. Fortunately, things don't have to get all too expensive either. We've seen great value and strong capabilities from even the mainstream current-gen chipsets from both Intel and AMD. Number 5. Intel Core i5-12600K. Cores, 10, 6P plus 4E. Threads, 16. Boost clock speed, 4.9 GHz P/3.6 GHz E. Base clock speed, 3.7 GHz P/2.8 GHz E. L3 cache, 20 MB, shared. TDP, 125W. Platform, Intel, LGA 1700. Reasons to buy. Frequently discounted. Supports DDR4 and DDR5 memory. Utilizes LGA 1700 socket motherboard. Reasons to avoid. Doesn't quite overclock to 5 GHz. About to be replaced by Raptor Lake. The Intel i5-12600K can best be thought of as the leading alternative chipset to the latest AMD Ryzen line. Now, even close to a year after release, this mid-range mainstream model can still perform excellently in the fields of real-time streaming in all popular resolutions and with rendering VOD content. Perhaps the biggest advantage to Alder Lake is how the LGA 1700 socket is being supported again for Raptor Lake. This means that you can keep the same board without having to change anything should you want to upgrade in the future. As it stands, though, this 12th Gen i5 is excellent value for money at its $312 MSRP, despite now selling more commonly for cheaper at around $275. Number 4. AMD Ryzen 5 7600X. The AMD Ryzen 5 7600X is our pick for the best budget CPU for streaming. This is because the new mainstream Zen 4 processor actually outperforms the best of Alder Lake under certain circumstances while maintaining an incredibly aggressive $299 price point. Keep in mind that you'll need to upgrade to an AM5 socket motherboard and DDR5 RAM exclusively if you do make the jump. With that said, the 6-core, 12 threads, processor certainly doesn't pull its punches. This is evident in the fact that in some synthetic benchmarks, this chipset actually outperforms the previous flagship model from the previous generation for around half the price. If you're looking for the best value for money without sacrificing speed and efficiency, then this model could be the one you're after. For more information on this card, make sure to head over to our AMD Ryzen 5 7600X review. In a similar vein to the Ryzen 9 7900X, user reviews indicate that this product is also well liked across the board, with most highlighting its value for money, versatility as a CPU, and general gaming performance. In a balanced take, one review noted that Ryzen 5 7600X runs great so far, but it can get a little hot when running under full load, so I would make sure to also buy a motherboard. Number 3. Intel Core i7-12700K. Cores, 12. Threads, 20. Platforms, Intel Socket 1700. Boost clock speed, up to 5 GHz. Base clock speed, 100 MHz. L3 cache, 25 MB, shared. TDP, 125W. Reasons to buy. High performance for 125W TDP. Utilizes both DDR4 and DDR5 RAM. Overclocks to 5.0 GHz. Reasons to avoid. About to be replaced by Raptor Lake is right around the corner. However, we're confident recommending the Intel Core i7-12700K as one of the best Intel CPU for streaming. This is in large part due to the hybrid architecture, a mixture of P-cores and E-cores which make up this chipset thanks to the Intel 710nm process. You're looking at a total of 12 cores and 20 threads here. That is the most power-efficient i7 model to date, especially when factoring in the 125W TDP. What's more, this processor just about manages to live up to the 5 GHz mark when overclocked. You'll need all the extra power you can get when streaming in higher resolutions than Full HD, 1080p, or rendering video projects. Number 2. Intel Core i7-14700K. Cores, 20, 8P12E. Threads, 28. Boost clock speed, P-Core 5.5 GHz/E-Core 4.3 GHz. Base clock speed, P-Core 2.5 GHz/E-Core 3.4 GHz. L3 cache, 33 MB. TDP, 125W. Platform, Intel Socket 1700. Reasons to buy. Excellent gaming performance. Leading for creativity and productivity. Pricing identical to previous generation. Reasons to avoid. Can run hot under load, may require more temperature maintenance. Cooler is not included in the purchase. The Intel Core i7-14700K is our top pick for an Intel CPU, boasting an impressive 20 cores, 28 threads, and a boost speed of 5.6 GHz. This CPU is perfect not only for gaming, but also creative workloads, meaning it's the perfect CPU for versatility. While it has been known to run hot and does not include a cooler, we would still highly recommend this Intel CPU as one of the top choices for streaming. Its power and speed are more than enough for streaming freely. To check out more from this product, head over to our Intel Core i7-14700K review. Unsurprisingly, Amazon users were impressed by the overall performance of the Intel Core i7-14700K. Most reviewers highlighted its versatility, marking it as a top choice for both gamers and creatives alike. For example, one user specified that the Intel i9-14900K delivers impressive performance with its high clock speeds and advanced architecture. It excels in demanding tasks like gaming, content creation, and multitasking, offering smooth and responsive performance. We'd say that is pretty spot on if you asked us. Number 1. AMD Ryzen 9 7900X. Cores, 12. Threads, 24. Boost clock speed, 5.6 GHz. Base clock speed, 4.7 GHz. L3 cache, 64 MB. TDP, 170W. Platform, AMD Socket AM5. Reasons to buy. Leading single-core performance. Competitive price point. High clock speeds. Reasons to avoid. Requires an AM5 motherboard and DDR5 RAM. Temperate control has been criticized in online reviews. The AMD Ryzen 9 7900X takes the top spot as the best CPU for streaming. We've opted for this version as opposed to the Zen 4 flagship. This is due to the more competitive price and comparable real-time figures. This 12-core, 24 threads processor has more than enough under the hood to keep up with demanding software rendering and real-time encoding. Plus, it won't break the bank. That's because the high-end chipset carries an MSRP of $549 on the AM5 socket. The price-to-performance ratio here is very competitive given all this model offers. You're also benefiting from a high base clock of 4.7 GHz. This can be pushed all the way to 5.6 GHz with overclocking. Single-core performance will be very strong with frequencies as high as this out of the gate. The AMD Ryzen 9 7900X takes pole position for what it brings to the table at its price point. Simply put, there's nothing else on the market right now that quite stacks up the same way. The Zen 4 processor largely outdoes Alder Lake, however, things could change with the release of Raptor Lake. We'll be bringing you updates should this happen. Be sure to check out our AMD Ryzen 9 7900X review for more information. Of the AMD Ryzen 9 7900X is overwhelmingly positive. Most users highlighted the performance, ease of installation, and the benefits it made to their gaming experience. One reviewer even stated it destroys everything I throw at it with ease. An excellent purchase. Lastly, it is worth noting that here was some skepticism over its temperature control noted in multiple reviews, so watch out for that.